Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You've got Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny. We are here talking to you about not just a high yielding dividend stock, not just a special paying dividend stock, but a monthly paying dividend stock, because this stock price is down to levels we haven't seen in quite a few months and thought to bring it back on the radar, baby.
Smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Oh, we are talking with some juicy, oh, so sweet dividend yield today. We can't wait to share this stock that is down 4% year to date. But as you said, Lenny, we haven't seen prices here since the beginning of December.
Yeah, though down 4% year to date, they are still up 23% year to date. Big dividend investors looking for big, high dividend yield love this stock. They pay every single month. They pay special quarterly dividends, sometimes semi-annually, sometimes quarterly. Guys, we're talking about Main Street Capital, ticker symbol MAIN, MAIN, the Business Development Company, or BDC, right here for you guys.
No, I love when a ticker matches the company's name, Lanny. So obviously
Oh, it's
this is
true.
a favorite here. Put this on my tattoo list on my back of all the tickers that have their names on them. So Maine Capital. Lanny, when did
That
you
is
initiate that
next.
position in Maine?
So I initiated it back in Q4 of 2023. Bought some chunks in the mid to upper 30s, low 40s. So the stock price is obviously was on a tear. Their 52-week high recently was 63.32. So up a
A lot.
30, 40%
Yeah.
plus over that time period. And it was always mad. Always it was always the woulda, coulda, shoulda bought more, right? And they've had a great years. Solid earnings release. Net asset value is up to $31.65, increased over 3% from the last quarter. So really growing every single quarter, the net asset value, which is what you want to see as an investor in the BDC. But now they've had a recent pullback from that $63.32 52-week high. Again, filming this here on March 6th at night, back down below $57 a share to $56.94. So they are clearly, down, $6 and 38 cents from that 52-week high, which is actually a lot. We're talking let's just call it a 10% drop from the 52-week high. So is this a stock to now buy right now?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to run them through the Dividend Diplomats dividend stock screener, talk about that price earnings ratio, that payout ratio, the history of increasing dividends, and that dividend yield. And as we're going through this, we put together a really cool way to take a look at Maine to bring in that net asset value, which is going to be one of the key drivers that people look at when they're investing in Maine Capital. So let's kick this sucker off. Let's kick this party off, Lanny.
We're going to kick it off. We're going to rip the Band-Aid. We're going to get through the metrics to find out if it's a stock to buy and hopefully teach you how to really evaluate a BDC, again, really rope it in that net asset value. And I'll tell you where historically I like them at and historically where they really were at for quite a bit of time in 2021, 2022, 2023, and even parts of 2024. But again, ticker symbol is MAIN, MAIN. Their share price is $56.94. Based on the year-to-date net investment income per share, they were at $4.09. I'm not really going to project any future earnings, but we'll just use the last trailing 12. So that comes to a PE ratio of about 14.
Now, their regular dividend is $3 per share. So that payout ratio is 73%, which is above our 60%. But before we fret, before we frown here as we're talking about them, this is the type of company that you see a much higher payout ratio. BDCs are required to pay out a larger amount of those earnings to shareholders. So it is a very much expected to see a high dividend payout ratio in this sector for Maine.
Yeah. Yep. They pay out close to all of their earnings back to shareholders. Because what do they care? um,
They care a lot,
and
Lanny. They
yeah,
care a
they care
lot
a
about
lot.
the
Yeah.
shareholders.
The 12, 20, again, $3, as Bert said, per year, but that's 25 cents per share per quarter or per share per month.
Uh-huh.
So just keep that in mind. Yeah, it's weird saying it like that. So which is amazing to see that they pay it every single month. It's interesting. So then we looked at from the again, Burgess covered the payout ratio, getting to the dividend growth. I just looked at their normal monthly, quarterly dividend, and they've grown it at an average rate of about 4.39% per year over the last 5 years, which I actually think is very solid. And they've been doing it for over 14 years at least, from what I could tell.
Yeah. Now that yield on this regular dividend, again, regular dividend here, 5.27%. So it's dropped, prices dropped, meaning that yield is well above 5%. It's not just kissing 5%. It's not just a hair above 5%. It is 27 basis points above 5%. Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's hard to gauge because all the other sites will kind of show what the 5 year dividend yield on average is with all those special dividends. And it's hard to really, you would have to run the data on the, non-adjusted share price, close date, and then run another side calc just to really get the accurate 5 year dividend yield average. But it's probably close-ish to what that 5 year average is, maybe slightly lower than where it historically has been. But Burr, what has it done on, again, you mentioned the price appreciation this year, but what about over the last 52 weeks?
Terrible. It's been terrible. So this in 2025, it's down 3.91%. Last 52 weeks, it's up 23.11%. I was just kidding, everybody. We're trying to have some fun here. So they've done very well. We pull up the full 52-week chart, see heavy appreciation, peaking in the 60s, but now it's come back down here, down to 56.94 at the time of this video.
And again, I really like the management company, honestly, here at Main Street. They've got long-term experience working together. And I feel like there still is a good long-term ahead for most of the executives there. So really like how Main Street Capital is managed. Again, 5 billion in market cap. So Bert and I, we were talking to you guys, in the beginning about how you really want to look at them based on net asset value. It's kind of like when you look at a bank, you look at it from a trading of book value standpoint. But for the BDC, look at the net asset value. So historically, again, they are right around 1.45 to 1.55 times, their net asset value. But currently, Bert, they're trading at 1.8 times that net asset value as of this video.
Okay, so heavily above that 1.8 margin there. So, interesting. So, if we want to see what's the share price to get them down to a 1.5%, you take the 31.65, multiply it times 1.5. They got a little room to go. Little room to
Yeah,
go.
they're down to 47.50-ish is where you kind of like them. Obviously, that's almost $10 less or 20% less. I think I'd be honestly, again, that's a pretty aggressive to get a 20% further price correction. But even in the lower 50s would be very appealing to me right now.
Okay, well, so that's the valuation part. We've covered that, right? But we did leave out the special dividends for a reason, because when you're looking at a company, you can really only you look at the regular dividends. Special dividends are never guaranteed. Regular dividends aren't guaranteed. So special dividends are extra not guaranteed. Yeah. However, you're supposed to say that. So why don't you tell a little bit, Lanny, about that special dividend and how that changes the calculus for Maine that is causing people to reach a little bit above that 1.5 per um, price to net asset value mark.
Yeah, of course. So they, like last year, I think they paid a 30-cent special dividend every single quarter, or $1.20 for the year. So that would actually push their annual dividend to $4.20, which actually equates out to a payout ratio of 103%. So pretty much paying out all of their earnings. Now they've had years where they've only paid out, let's say, 2 special dividends. So when they do that, they get back down into that 88 to 90% payout ratio threshold if they just did 30-cent special dividends. But the yield, even at the 2, is well over 6%. And again, if they still committed to doing 4, they're over 7.38% on the dividend yield.
Remember, regular dividend yield is 5.27%. Last year was an aggressive year where they had 4 special dividends. Yield is over 7%. Conservatively, when you factored in 2 special dividends in a more conservative year, still over 6%. So you're yielding at a minimum over 5%, but more likely than not, you're in that 6 to 7% yield range.
100%. And that payout ratio, to be honest, 73% normally is low. So you really want to see it closer to that 90%. So as Bert said, you'll probably be well over 6%, kissing 7% almost every year with Main Street Capital, even at the current price.
Yeah. So overall, we'll put the full chart up here, the full metrics here. Lanny, taking a step back with that valuation, with the likely special dividend that's going to be coming here, Maine,
Right.
share your thoughts on what's going down in your mindset.
Yeah, love the company, love kind of how they operate and orchestrate. But even at 57, it's a little too rich for me right now. And again, if they dropped into the low 50s, below 52, I'd be probably buying at that point of Main Street Capital.
Remember, we said to get them to their historical price to net asset value, 1.5 is in the 40s. Lanny's saying, hey, I'll take a little bit of a premium because I like Maine that much to where if it's in the low 50s, still trading above historical mark, but below where it is today, I'm interested. And I think that's a very important point, and that's a very cool way to think about Maine Capital right now.
I'm not here arguing about a quarter off the share price. I'm really talking about, again, 7 to 10% still price correction here. So it's just still out of my range.
Yeah. So everyone, let us know, what do you think of Maine? Ticker symbol MAIN. Were you a buyer in the high 30s, low 40s like Lanny? Or are you a buyer now for Maine? Is this a price even at a premium where you're like, I want this company, I want it right now?
Ooh, let us know, guys. Let us know if this is a stock to buy, if you've been buying Main stock or what other stocks you've been buying in 2025. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel, guys. Keep building passive income. Let's get to financial freedom. And Bert, I got one thing left to tell you, brother. You're either with us or you're against us, Jack. That was Bert the Herd and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.